Edge Radio Australia. It is time, of course, for a little show we like to call Wealth by Design. Why? Because the gentleman beside me, Jeff Bowman, he is the man, the myth, the legend behind Wealth by Design. Good to see you, mate.
Very, very generous, Aaron.
Look,
very
I'm in that kind of mood.
I know, fantastic.
Well, you brought a great guest in today, a fella I quite like, actually. I won't tell any fibs. I like that. We've got a bit in common, right?
Yes, you have met a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Both rogues.
Both rogues, exactly. You know, you hang around with the best rogues in society, I'll put it that way. Great to have you both here, but let's do the introductions, hey?
Yeah, fantastic, Aaron. Well, thanks very much for once again hosting us for another great Edge Radio Australia sort of session.
Okay, is that what we call it? Okay.
Session. Or we could even call it a small event.
We could. Why not?
Yes, but look, as you know, Wealth by Design, we specialise in bringing quality in businesses together under our Wealth by Design banner. And today we're delighted to have our special guest, Anthony Raspa, who is the founder and owner and driver of a very innovative digital marketing company called Dezign Digital. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's lovely to be here this afternoon.
Yes, really great to have you here, mate. Yes. Really is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very, very fit and youthful you're looking today, Anthony. I don't know how you get away with it.
Just saying how old I was before. And,
well, it's younger than both of us, so you're doing very well in that one. Hello. I work on the principle, the older I get, the better I was. Yes.
And, so it's all about digital marketing. And, of course, I was delighted that Anthony accepted our invitation today because I'll be one of the world's best experts at being ripped off by digital marketers.
Yeah.
No one needs over the years. You just go in blind and you go, oh, this sounds good.
Yep.
And it's one of those areas of expertise that is hard to pin down. It's a bit of a slippery eel.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And
it's a common story.
Yeah,
it's a common story. Yeah. So in the spirit of trying to walk the talk, we've sort of engaged Anthony, our company, Wealth by Design, probably after, how long? Probably a couple of years I've known you now.
Probably about a good 24 months of trying to convert you. We finally did.
Finally got him across the line.
So suspicious.
Penny wise, I think, is the technical term.
The thing is, when you've had bad experiences, especially in business, when you're trying to align yourself with someone and you've struggled to find the right person, you tend to be quite tentative finding another one. So the fact that you're sitting here, quite frankly, and that you get such an endorsement from Jeff says a lot, mate.
Oh, he does his checks and balances. We had to work for this one. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't an easy one. So we're only talking earlier about, and you got to sort of back up. You got to back up the bullshit, really. And I think we can back it up easily now. Like we have got 3 active websites, 3 very keen separate services that we offer. And I said to Anthony one day, look, our load up times seem a bit slow. And I went to Anthony and a few of his colleagues ran an event that I went to, and there was a big peak of interest because he got us to test the load up speeds of all of our companies. Because the whole business full of about 30 or 40 people, all business owners, and they all have their own websites. And he said, right, get onto your bloody website and count how long it takes to load up, right, after you stick it into Google. And of course, mine dragged a bit, and there was a few other people around the room going, oh, Jesus, come on. And so that sort of was a catalyst for me. And I said, right, mate, let's do it.
Yep.
Let's transfer the whole lot over. And I was petrified of all the delays and things being down and no one being able to see our websites. But it was just the easiest, most professional transition from one bunch of hosting people over to Anthony's
This is what
company.
you want.
Yeah.
Why do things have to be hard? They don't. If
Doesn't
you've got
have
good
to
people,
be.
no.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. If you plan it out and, you think about all the services you have, there's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be that edge case, that somebody who it's just going to be grief. But I think if you plan 99%, it should be those 1% as edge cases.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's bloody fantastic. And it was so I think that's right. It's in the planning. And if you know your stuff, you plan properly, you've got the right team, they press the button and it just bloody happens.
Well, the planning is obviously massive, and I'm a big believer in that. But also just pure and simple expertise and time in the game. You know what's coming. Okay, when you anticipate it, experience. I mean, it just can't. Well, it can be bought, I suppose. It can be rented, but that it's such a big deal. And in the digital space, when every 2 minutes somebody's stepping up saying, "I can do it better," Sure, you can.
Yeah.
I think experience counts for so much.
You've got to back it up.
Yeah.
And so we've reduced our hosting costs by 12%.
Fantastic.
And we've increased our load speeds, I reckon, by about 200% because they just come
All
up
the
straight
sites
away.
are under 3 seconds, which is one of the important Google metrics of, probably about 5,000 that
There
they
you
have.
go. Yeah.
But
website's got to be uploaded within 3 seconds.
Within 3 seconds.
Within
mine's
3
about,
seconds.
Mine's about
People-
a second, and I
Okay.
just go bang,
Bang.
and it's just fabulous. So thank you for that.
thank you.
I should
Thank you
have
for trusting us.
Yeah, I should have hung in, and I should have bloody backed you a bit earlier, but I was a bit suspicious.
Oh, it's good to be like, look, some caution and like, I don't know, there's some logical skepticism to life, right? If you just go in there, with an open sort of mind, have an open mind, but okay, I'm putting this really poorly. I just think, you've got to do your checks and balances. Your business has got so many levels to it. So many people rely on it. You don't, let's not gamble with it. Let's actually make good decisions.
Dead right. And of course, Anthony's got this team of highly skilled people that my team are now working with respect to a very important project that's been ongoing for longer than I'd like to admit to, which is a major CRM upgrade. Because we've got a database, probably about 16,000 people now.
A few people,
and we just need
to. That's a card.
That's a card.
Oh, there we go.
You can
That's
turn that off, please. That's
Fantastic.
mine. If you can
There
turn
we
that
go.
off.
I'll just pass that to you. So
There
nobody,
we go.
nobody
Fantastic.
thinks it's me.
We've actually got a secret plan around here. This is how we get beer to the studio.
Yeah,
So,
please. Yeah.
Oh,
underhanded. We actually called him on the quiet.
Who's this amateur?
that is
Yeah,
appalling.
yeah.
Now I'm just going to fix this right
All
now.
good, mate.
Yeah.
All good.
Sorry
Well,
about that.
if I could-
Apologies, everybody.
Oh, all good. Actually, if I can interrupt for a minute, something that I've actually been at one of your speaking engagements, and I cannot believe that the details that I was not aware of. I'm embarrassed about it. I mean, I thought that I was on top of this kind of thing. I'm so not. And also what you were saying about the pickup speed, I actually went and tested mine later because I thought we were faster than we are, and we're not as fast as I thought.
No.
So there you go. Definitely
Some of
worth
it's
doing
just
the
the
test.
technical SEO that we do. So
Yep.
some of the technical SEO is like, okay, we look at your server, we look at even the pictures, the compression, the bloat. You can go really, really deep with this stuff. It's like a big hole that you can go into, but depending on the outcome you want, it's got to be snappy, it's got to be fast. We're this doom scrolling culture now, aren't we?
Oh,
So
true.
if you don't grab that person's attention, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you originally explained in that talk I went to that you did that you've got sort of is it servers all sort of in different parts of the country, and if there's a delay here, it'll pick it up there, which means we'll get bang fast uploads.
Right.
Latin, probably all sorts of other things.
Yeah, look, so everybody's in Australia particularly, most servers are American or European. So you've got that what's called latency delay. So we've got to go out, and it's got to come through many hops, and then it comes back to sort of Australia.
Okay.
If we have what's called a content delivery network, you can cache your website at every data center.
Okay.
And then rather than going all the way to America,
Yep.
we go to our local data center
Makes
and
a
bang.
difference.
So it's all within
Big
Australia.
difference. Yeah.
How good's that? That makes
Oh,
sense.
well, the speed. Look, it's instantaneous. I mean, I know things are pretty darn quick, but it's still got to go a long way.
Yeah.
You take that factor out, you've got more speed.
Yeah.
And that's just one of many, many factors that go into Google rankings. But
that's great.
it's a
And
slippery slope.
It most definitely is. And to become the master of Google, it's a big thing. It really is. It's I mean, we all use it. We all use it for pretty much just about everything in life. And I know there's other search engines, but that's the big daddy.
I love it. It's fascinating because it's you start off and then you start to become bottle full, and then they'll change the algorithm.
Yeah.
Something will change, and then all your customers, okay, we were on page 1 of everything, and now we're on page 2, and then you're working it back, and then they'll just do it again, just to keep us employed.
No. Well, it happens. Absolutely happens.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. So we've got we're now with Anthony for hosting.
Yep.
We're now with Anthony for any new websites we want to build, and we've just rebuilt a brand new one, which is a fantastic job. I only saw it yesterday, so looking good, mate. You said
Thank
you'd
you.
pretty it up. You've done more than that. I'm sure the load up speeds and the take up will be far better than the last one, which was a bit of an old one that needed a bit of a rehash. And Anthony's technical team. are just a slick outfit, and they're polite. And I was with a client today who's a Queensland client of mine, just about to become. And funnily enough, it's a small world. Guess who's building her CRM out?
No way. There you go.
This mob.
He gets around.
We get around. We get around.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah. And it's, you know, and like you said, I wouldn't be able to do it without my team. And it's the 1%ers, you know.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
You've got to go. You've got to be, you know, customer centric these days.
Yeah.
Look, there's a particular company that we have to deal with at Edge because, I mean, without boring everyone to death, but there's servers everywhere, this and that. Anyway, there's a company that is imperative to our digital radio working, and it's in England because there isn't one in Australia. So every time there's a problem, guess what? Okay, now granted, I don't sleep, so that works, right? But you've got to make all your inquiries, you've got to do everything in the middle of the night. It's quite an issue, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously in that sort of industry, you got to be quick. I love the fact that, you know, this is in Perth, this is quick. I can get on the phone and annoy you if I need to.
I'm hearing a business opportunity.
I know, so am I. So am I. Oh, shut up now. There we go.
And
but it's true.
Yeah, and all your teams out. You're out in the Garden Office Park, aren't you?
Yeah.
Near Papagallo.
Osmond Park.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
come and knock on our door now.
Yeah, that's a great spot out there. It's a premier office,
beautiful
office. It's a destination.
As a car guy, it's hard to look across the road at all those Ferraris and so forth.
You've got Ferraris across the road and BYD next door.
Oh, what a combination! There you go. I'm further down the road. I'm at Chellingworth at the old Porsche dealership.
Yeah, I'll be blended up.
That's more me.
Yeah, very good. So all right, so we've endorsed you to the back teeth because of obviously all the stuff that we're happy with. So I guess I wouldn't mind our sort of listeners, those that are tuning in today, and of course those that will hear this will streaming that goes on after today. A bit about your background, because you don't ever talk much about the qualifications you've got, which obviously, from what I gather, are very highly technical and highly recognised qualifications in the industry. You're not just someone that was flogging cars last week and now this week you've bloody started selling websites, right? We know that's not the case. Can you give us a bit of background where you started?
We talked about this earlier, and I was like, it's embarrassed to bring it up. So I started off as a developer. So in 93, I think I did my first development degree.
Yep.
And I was more interested in DJing nightclubs and women than programming. Hated it, barely passed. Went into the market, and luckily one of my first jobs was kind of an offshoot of Toshiba, and we were doing programming and fixing laptops. But I was lucky enough that they trained me as a server guy and a network guy.
Right.
And unbeknownst to me, once you had sort of the development and the server side, you were just fully employable. So then I went through the Unisys, the Telstras of the world, Fujitsu's, and I saw the project managers earning the most amount of money, doing the least amount of work in my eyes at the time. So I went on a bit of a certification buzz, got every project management degree, vice president of the Project Management Institute, and then did oil, gas and mining for a while, and then COVID hit, and I had the wife and I had little babies. So Dezign Digital was born.
Good on you.
Right.
Yeah.
And
got a pivot.
Yeah.
So you've got an incredibly highly credentialed technical background. Yeah.
Went back, did do the master's degree in IT.
Yeah.
So
is that one of the local unis?
I did it through Charles Sturt University.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, because they had the Microsoft partnership back in the day.
Okay. So that's New South Wales?
New South Wales, yeah.
It is, yeah.
Now, someone's just come up with a question that this is coming through YouTube, but that it's not coming through their name, so that's no worries at all. How can innovative technology and strategic planning reshape your business operations?
I think if your business is established now, I think it's amazing, and it's something you have to do. Okay. You have to look at your operations, because not only if you look at your operations, the strategic benefits, like the cost benefits that you can get by saying, here is my digital suite. If I go through my digital suite, and you add on $20 for this subscription, $30 for that subscription. If you look at a CRM, now there are CRMs that'll do the entire business suite. They'll do funnels, they'll do marketing, they pull in Google ads.
Right.
It's a go all, be all and end all.
Yep.
So you can just save so much money and optimize, especially for these smaller businesses where, you can respond to emails for you. You can put people into a funnel and you can get them on the third email qualified.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
this is your shop
it's
front.
amazing.
Now, right? This is your shop front. This is such an important part of your business.
Yeah.
It's and to be doing it in a professional way, to do it in an attractive way that grabs the attention, and it's also far more than just grabbing someone's attention. Obviously, that's important, but then what you do with that lead, that's absolutely critical.
Yeah.
And it's the old adage. I think you need to get back to that lead in the shortest amount of time. I'm talking minutes, not hours, because if you don't, there's a 70% chance you'll lose that lead.
Yeah.
Right. 70%.
Yeah, I think it's even higher now.
Right.
So
Wow.
You've got to be on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. And just a classic example the other day that even surprised our office manager, who's sort of helping supervise a lot of this work with Anthony's team. When our referral partners sign their referral agreements, part of the information they've got to put on there is obviously their own personal stuff, their ABN, and but then we say, right, put your bank account details there because we've got to pay you. And so as soon as they sign that press button, it's all electronic and it goes straight back into the CRM. This bloody CRM extracts the name of the bank details, the name of the account, the BSB and the account number. It extracts them off the document, and places them in the banking section.
How good's that?
Under their profile. Did you know that? Of course you did.
it's so cool.
Couldn't believe it.
And I love this stuff. It's fascinating. I talk when I start to talk fast. You know that I'm excited.
Yep.
And this kind of stuff. So back to that question, look at your operations, look how you can integrate more digital. I always say, if you're going to put on a new staff member, see what you can automate first. See what you can automate first, because it's probably 10, 20% the value of new staff member.
Sure.
You have to get there eventually, but the cost savings are
and when you're
monstrous.
building a business, particularly, that's incredibly important.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because look, $1 saved is $1 earned, and in the building process, that is vital. Absolutely vital. 100%. Another comment coming through. We're getting them from several different places, so it's always very handy to bring them. This one from Facebook. How could I practically integrate digital tools and then track any growth?
I love this one. Okay. So I'm going to look at it end to end. So number one, you should be doing something like a zero, right? That's basic.
Yep.
So I'm going to assume you know about that, or, your MyObs, your QuickBooks.
Yep.
Everything should be in an accounting platform, and those accounting platforms, great analytics.
Okay.
Some are basic, but it'll give you your start. And then you start to pull in your digital marketing. And then you start to say, okay, I'm doing some digital marketing. I'm paying a digital marketer $2,000 a month.
Sure.
And out of that, okay, how many impressions is this ad getting me? So how many people are looking at that ad? Then how many clicks have I got? All the way through to how many conversions do I have? So a conversion is not a click. A conversion is somebody filling out a form.
Sure.
And then that form is redirecting to a thank you page. And every time I hit that thank you page, that's a conversion, because I know somebody's gone through that entire end-to-end process. So make sure your digital marketer is not counting clicks. He's he's counting conversions, and he's got that whole track all the way through.
That's a really good point.
And then you can say, hey, I spent $2,000 and I got 20 clicks.
Yeah.
And I got 2 conversions. So is that my return on investment? What's that customer worth to me over their lifetime?
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Brilliant.
So those are the type of metrics. It's all metrics.
Of course.
Yeah.
And each customer who comes through the door, or through the digital door in this particular case, there's a inherent cost to everything like that. I remember being in the retail space many years ago, literally running a large retail store, and every time someone walked in, we worked it all out. It was $42 every time someone walked in. So if they walk in and then turn around and walk out, it was $42, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure conversion rates are successful. Otherwise, that tends to get very expensive, right? With rents and all of that. And rents are so incredibly high. In the digital space, where there's so much out there and there's so much choice, you've got to grab people's attention, and you've got to do all of this properly. Yeah.
With the advent of AI, there's just so much out there now.
Really is.
So much you got to capture.
Yeah,
you really do.
And I guess the AI bit it's exciting and it's scary at the same time, right? Because there's so much to learn, and there is a massive, great layer of new knowledge that would be overwhelming to many. And so you've got to be able to try and distill that down.
Agreed.
With probably people like you. So, Christ almighty, I understand that AI is part of our CRM because it has to be part of the AI, I think, extracting the banking details of a document and putting it into the section under their profile.
Got to be.
That's AI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
you can also just look for fields. It can be simple. You can just say, hey, these fields, I'm extracting those ones particularly.
Yes, okay.
And putting those fields over here.
Yeah. But if you're so busy running your business, you've got to have someone to help drive
Couldn't agree
that
more.
side of it. And certainly when it comes to the early stages of setting it up and tailoring it to your own business model.
So true.
Yeah. You have the right
Very, very
gang
true.
on the team.
Because the old story, I mean, okay, we've all got the same amount of time. Okay. And ultimately, if you're not being efficient with it, things are being missed, opportunities are being missed, and it becomes extremely hard. And I think also you need to have the courage to go, guess what? This is not my wheelhouse. I'm good at this part. You just got to be honest with yourself. Go, guess what? I type with 2 fingers. Okay. Clearly, I'm not an IT guy. I look like I'm pecking at some birdseed. You've got to actually invest in people who have the skills. Otherwise, you won't grow.
And if you're not getting that return on your investment, don't be afraid. I'm a bit of a nice guy. It takes me ages to move on to the next person.
Yep.
Try and move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Try and, if you go into the arrangement, say, okay, here's my expectations. We'll give it 3 months, or if I have 3 bad quarters, 3 bad months, excuse me. We've got to look at this.
Good. Yeah. Great plan.
Yeah. Get your monthly digital marketing report. So if your digital marketer is not doing, we've talked about this before, where if they're not doing your, at least a monthly report on how you're going, then that's just not kosher.
It's just not.
Yeah. So the social media platforms, they all interface within the CRM, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can set them up in their Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. And obviously that is, from what I gather, a feature of the CRM.
And you can have one space to have all those questions from those different platforms feed into one location, and you can answer them from one location back out. So you don't need to go into every single channel and muck around.
Please teach me. I am so bad at this because we live in a world where social media are here, there, everywhere, and I really have trouble chasing them all up. We get comments from so many different platforms, and I actually, I want to be, responsive to people for that matter. So having that sort of.
We can even have an app that you can reply within the app. So push notifications. Jump onto the Dezign digital website. Big green button on the front. Business suite. Including a CRM.
Oh, look, you got a big green button. We got a big orange one. Come on.
Buttons are good. Buttons are good. Okay. So what sort of your show today, Anthony? So what sort of clients really fit your model, and how do you gauge it, like on turnover, number of staff they've got? You obviously, there's a fee schedule associated with your services that will fit into a certain affordability slot. Yeah. So give us an idea of your sort of roughly, if you use turnover, or if you use the number of employees as a size of a business that we could refer to you from our platform. I think the accountant will tell you, a good accountant will tell your financial advisor that, I don't know, what's the number between, you used to do this kind of stuff, mate, between 3 to 5% of profit should be directed towards marketing. Yep. So make sure you're doing that as a business straight away. Yep. Secondly, we need to be, I think we've gone, the sole traders are hard for us now, the one-man banders, because we're not the cheapest around. We're not the most expensive, for a service. I say we're good at 2 things: website design, development, digital marketing, and now CRMs. And under digital marketing,
I like to think of it as 4 distinct towers.
Okay.
So you've got your paid ads.
Mhm.
We've done the certification from Google and Meta. Next is your SEO tower.
Sure.
Get your keywords. It's probably the best thing you can do for your business, but it's one of the most expensive things.
Yep.
Takes 6 months to do now. So it's, painful. But if there's some sort of global financial crisis again,
Yep.
that's what's going to get you through.
Okay.
You've got your social media marketing,
Mhm.
where you're posting on, your different social media platforms,
Third pillar. Yeah.
and then content. Content's your 4th pillar.
Right.
Now, each one of those pillars is probably worth around $1,000 each.
Righto. Gives you an idea.
So that'll, depending on your business and the
Yeah.
difficulty, and there's a million other metrics.
$1,000
but
a month.
Per
Yeah.
tower.
Yeah.
Per
So
tower.
so $1,000 per tower per month. Yeah. Okay. There's a guideline.
Yeah. Okay.
And you want that return on investment as
Obviously,
well.
yeah.
So we would go into it and we would say, okay, this is what we project. So this is our KPI.
Yes.
And each month, here's our report in week 1, how we did. We either did well, or obviously we need to have that conversation and what we didn't, and away we go. So it's all upfront. It's all open book.
Well, it's an investment. And on that front, like you said before about the price range, look, the price is forgotten if the value is there. Okay.
Totally.
Value is far more important than price in my eyes.
Oh, yeah. And you equate that to probably half the salary of a gun employee.
Yeah.
Because he's talking to $50,000 a year. Right?
You know what? About 4 years ago, you used to be able to be a bit of a generalist. Now you have to have one specialist just in Facebook ads, one specialist in Google ads, one.
They
We've got a
keep
whole
changing the
team of
rules.
SEO
Jeez.
people.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I've been to your website and checked out the team. And they're so qualified and so experienced, those guys.
Good guys.
And we've had, we're working with one
And
of them
ladies.
now, who's
Yeah.
great. I mean, our staff love working with this guy. Yeah. So he's a champion.
Let's bring this one up here. So another one coming through. What is the critical role of websites, hosting, SEO ads, and content in building long-term business success?
We talk about this in our lectures where, if you're not paying good money for hosting, let's say I'm going to throw a number out there.
Okay.
I want you to pay a minimum of $100 a month for hosting.
Right.
But that isn't just hosting. That is somebody who will take your website.
Mhm.
They will patch it daily.
Yeah.
So every day there's a security patch. Every day there's an update. If you've got a WordPress website, by the way, WordPress is probably, I'm going to say there's horses for courses, and we support every platform out there. But if we're building one, we will, with the goal of SEO in mind, we'll probably build it for you in WordPress, because typically if I place that beside another website, I can outrank it. So for me, it's just about ranking.
Yep.
So if you're building a WordPress site, you need to maintain that site as well, because there will be security flaws in it.
Sure.
So every day there'll be a minimum of 2 patches per day. There might be a WordPress patch. There might be a theme patch. There might be a plugin patch.
So how much of that gets picked up automatically through AI or other tech?
So we'll have a tool that says, hey, here are all the updates for the day.
Yep.
Rerun them at about, I think, 7 a.m. in the morning for ready when completed when we get into the office. And what it does, it'll take a snapshot of the homepage, and it'll say, okay, we've applied this update. Is there more than 5% changes in the snapshot? If there is, roll back the website, and then we have to manually fix it.
Right. Okay.
But we have to fix it without your knowledge. So it's all automated, happens in the background. So we own the issue.
Yeah.
So I really do want you to go out and get some good hosting. That is key. That's probably number one. It is the building block. It's the foundation of your
It's
website.
your shop front in cyberspace, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to cost you $1,200 a year to protect it.
It's underrated.
Yeah.
We go to these cheap platforms, which we won't mention, but these cheap platforms, they're cheap and they're great, but they won't rank your website.
No.
They just won't.
Yeah. And that's the key. Like backlinking, is that a term or a trick that's still used?
Yes, the backlinking is a great. So as the 500 metrics that we know move the needle, of which there's probably about, we said about 5,000 Google metrics,
Sure.
but they never publish it. So we need to figure out what moves the needle.
Right.
Backlinking is a great thing. So backlinking is the process of creating. Edge Radio creates a blog on their website.
Yep.
With all the keywords in it that we want to rank for.
Okay.
It's an informative blog. We post it on our social media. And it has a link in there back to our website. Then we find a few friendly websites. We go to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, I've got this informative Design Digital news article.
Yep.
Can you post it on your website as well? Backlinking to our website.
Yep.
So as the Google crawler goes through all the websites, it says, hey, people are talking about Design Digital, Edge Radio.
Yep.
They're an authority on X, on this blog. So let's rank them higher.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fantastic.
So that's how.
So can you be a bit naughty and just dump those all over social media as well?
You can. There are metrics now. So
It will pick up the naughty people.
It will.
Since the advent of AI, it's actually there are helpful content algorithm updates where it's looking for these AI just spam articles.
Sure.
Yeah, because you've got to stop the spam.
You really do.
Penalising.
Yeah.
So AI is now being actively penalised by Google. So if you get ChatGPT to write your blogs, it's probably one of the worst things you can do now.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's a good point you make.
You need to rewrite the article.
Yes.
It's great as
Don't think it's that clever. You get
No,
let old
agree.
ChatGPT do the whole thing for you because Google will down rank you.
and they've come out. So there's a guy on from Google that is on Twitter,
Right.
and he's actively said many times, we're not going to penalise you for AI content. Yet you have a look at all the rankings. It's what he's talking about, spam. So if it's constructive,
Sure.
helpful, I think helpful content is what they always say. So if it's helpful content, you'll get ranked up. If it's spammy content, you'll get an active penalty.
How do you define that, or how do they make that decision though? That's the thing.
Yeah,
They're probably using AI to do it. There you go.
It's a metric.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
it's there.
Yeah.
It's a lot to it.
But I think you've got to be able to have some sort of algorithm or science to stop blatant AI spamming because it'll just be a complete, everyone will lose interest.
We saw it. We saw people generating 500 articles a day
Right.
and posting on their website,
There you go.
and it was actively getting ranked.
Right.
Yes.
There
And
you
then as these updates have come through, bang, they're all gone off. And not just penalised, deranked.
Deranked.
Deranked
tough.
I'm so
completely.
pleased you've said that
Yeah.
because the quality human content can never ever be beaten.
go. Agreed.
But it's funny being in the industry. Back in the day, that's how old I am. Back in the day, we used to write informative articles that would help people.
Yeah.
Now you can see the entire industry moving towards articles written for SEO,
Yeah.
for SEO purposes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So that's sort of a halfway ground there, isn't there? There's a halfway period.
Really, yeah. Well, again, it's about being authentic, but it's very hard in a digital age where there's so many other factors to it. So if you're going to write something with AI, then go in there and freshen it up, change it, all of that, so that you don't get downranked.
Use it as, I don't know, to get rid of that writer's block.
Yeah.
And then rewrite the article.
Yeah.
And make it about, make it about your area, make it about your country, your locality.
Sure.
Hey, the seasons, we've come into summer. So make it relevant to your audience.
Yes. Yeah. No,
That's
like
the
it.
key.
That's
Very
okay.
good. Very good, Anthony.
There's so much to it, mate. There's really so much to it.
And the goalposts are always moving, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm glad that you like it, because I tell you right now, it's just
I
too
love
much
it.
for my head.
Love it.
Too much to fit under that hat.
There's walking and chewing gum. There's difficulties here, right? So I love to hand pass it on to someone who's got the skills. Simple as that.
Yeah. That's great. Well, righto. So we've got a bit of an idea of the budget. The 4 pillars.
4 pillars.
What other outstanding attributes have your organisation got that put you aside from the rest of the mob out there?
I like to say, we were talking about this the other day. We have a lot on our website currently, so I want to dumb it down because I feel like there's just too much. So our unique selling point is really we do what we say. We don't have any contracts. So back in the day, you used to lock people in for a year, 6 months.
Yeah.
You really need to have a bit of time with SEO especially.
Okay.
But I feel if you have no contracts, people are going to come on board with you because they can come on board easily and they can leave easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is
and the risk is
fabulous-
on me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, there's a trust thing that comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question coming
like
in
that.
here from Courage Secure, and I really thank you for your comment. This is a really important comment, I think. How does de-ranking differ from shadow banning and censorship?
Couple of ways. So de-ranking is where you've created all this spam for your website, and Google bot has come along and it said, hey, you've done this for ranking purposes, not for, helpful content purposes. Sure. So we're just going to stop you from ranking at all. Okay. So one day, and when you get these graphs, it's fascinating because you'll see the Google Analytics, and then one day it'll just go down to nothing. You're like, what the hell? Yep. Shadow banning is to me, it's more of a social media term. Okay. It's more, I've done something a little bit naughty on social media, and I've been shadow banned by X, Facebook, Twitter, same thing, Instagram. Yep. And so I'm just not allowed to do, I had this amount of freedom. I don't have this amount of freedom.
So if you were doing it through your own website, you wouldn't be subject to that. Is that correct?
No, if you're doing blogs on your own website, hey, I'm always going to have my website out there as long as people know the URL. Yep. Google might de-rank me from my keywords. Okay. So, hey, radio, Edge Radio. So it might de-rank me so I never come up in search. Yeah. But my website still exists out there.
Okay. Fantastic. Great question. Courage is the cure. And great answer from our host. That's fabulous.
I find it interesting that if algorithms, left, right, and centre, but if I say Google Edge Radio Australia, for argument's sake, if I do it from my phone, obviously it's going to come up quick, right? Yep. But we do it with other people's phones. We do different products, all that kind of thing. And it's funny how you get a different result if you use an Apple product or an Android product or a PC or the location, that sort of thing. It's very interesting on that, of the rating of it. How much does the algorithm get involved from that side of the ranking? Well, why do I get different? So if a woman, a 35-year-old woman, Google's Edge Radio Australia, right? Why will it come up in a different place to when, say, a 50-year-old man does it?
Everything we do, all the Google products, Google wants analytics out of you. So it's really interesting the way the industry is going with privacy as well. Because, hey, if I'm in the EU, you will see all those, hey, this website uses cookies. Yep. Do you want to accept them or reject them? Yep. Australia is fascinating in our laws and our censorship. Okay. Some things we're advanced on, a lot of things we aren't. Mm-hmm. Privacy isn't really a thing that we're advanced on in Australia. So you come onto my website or my ad, I can get as much analytics out of you as possible. Sure. Ask me about the Bluetooth one later on. But and that's what I want as an advertiser. I need your analytics to say, hey, this campaign worked. And so Google kind of puts you into a box. It says, hey, or you're looking at cars and beer. So therefore, you must be a middle-aged man. Obviously, generalising.
Two priorities in life.
Whereas, let's say a young girl might be looking at ponies. I've got young daughters. Ponies, I'm just pulling it out of the air here, and something generic like that. So, hey, this is what the ads that I'm going to push to you. Yep. We believe this is what you're going to be interested in, and this is what you're going to buy based on your keywords. Of course. Yeah. So that's how they rank you. It's fascinating.
The fact that they keep changing the rules, so to speak, it means people like you are so important because you've got to keep up with it.
Yes. And then you get Apple phones now. Yep. Where they're actively deterring all this. Mm-hmm. So Apple phones are actively deterring pushing out cookies. They're masking your IP address. At home, it'll rotate your MAC address. So your MAC address will rotate on Wi-Fi networks, so it won't think you're the same person. So just to you brought up the shop thing before. Yeah. So a friend of mine has a business where as you walk into a shopping centre, it has a Bluetooth device at the door and it actively connects to your phone. So I can't connect to your phone and pair with it, but I can get the MAC address and, a few other things of your phone. So I can identify your device. Wow. Then I can identify how many times, what days you're going shopping. Sure. I can build a profile on you. And it's kind of that.
Breach of privacy.
So it really is.
That's a breach of privacy.
Yeah. But it's happening every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been told. You saw it go on.
No, I just think we had that situation might have been was it Bunnings where they're doing the face recognition when
Facial
you're walking in,
recognition.
and sort
Oh,
of-
I hate that.
and that sort of got shut down
Yeah.
because everyone screamed about it, and
Right.
so they should.
Oh, they're not doing that anymore?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
I think it's within the parameters of the law, whether it's, the right thing to do or not.
Yeah,
I don't
Probably
know.
not.
disguised as a broom.
Yeah.
Disguised as a broom.
When I go to Bunnings, the greeter isn't greeting me anymore. Maybe they know too much. I don't know.
Wow.
It's not a big black sort of camera up there. It's a broom looking at you.
As you
Oh,
walk in.
mate, that's
Smile.
fantastic. Hey,
Wow.
we've hit the end of our time.
Wow.
Tell you what,
Oh,
we've, in
rock
fact,
and
we've,
roll.
we've
That's
gone
quick.
over it a bit, to be absolutely frank. We're a bit naughty, but I'm enjoying the conversation. I mean, I want to talk about DJing and music and all sorts of things, but you're here to talk about boring stuff like, I don't know,
Yeah.
improving your business.
Another day, we'll
Jeez,
get to
oh,
a bit of a music.
Another day,
a
we
bit
could
of a
do
music.
SEO one day.
yeah, exactly.
Ads.
And we'll bring you back.
It's
and we'll throw-
endless.
But it really is. I joke about it. It's fascinating. It is the world we live in, right?
Yeah.
And if we don't jump on it, if we don't have our eyes open and grab the opportunity, this is the thing. A lot of people are looking at a lot of these things negatively. They're opportunities.
Yeah.
That's just seize
Absolutely.
them, right?
Yeah.
And whether you're in business or, for that matter, I mean, it could be the way you interact with business as a private citizen. Just these things do change, and you need to be aware of it. So, I mean, I know, as I say, when you ran through, and we won't be able to do it here because we're so a bit late, but the 8 points that you ran through with your site, I essentially thought that I'd pulled all 8. Then I thought later, no, I haven't. I've got 7. And then I checked
Yeah.
later, and I was wrong. I've got 6.
Yeah.
I know. And there's a bit of the heart sank a little bit.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't been told that, I wouldn't have known. Right? Knowledge is power. Absolutely brilliant.
It's these things that we should know or we miss
Mhm.
because we're just, we want the website up.
Yep.
We've got to start earning money,
Yeah.
but we can always go back and resolve those.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of it. All right. Any last
Tremendous.
thoughts, my friend?
No, other than to thank you, Aaron, once again. You put on a great show. You
Always
make it
a pleasure.
very, very comfortable for us
Thank you.
novices to sit down and
Don't
talk
know about
about this stuff. We're not novices in our areas of expertise,
No.
but the radio thing is a very relaxed one. So thank
Oh, look,
you.
he says that, but out the front, he's signing autographs. So, sounds all right.
And Anthony, thank you, mate. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to contact me, they can come through the website.
Yep. Now, the
And
website
talk about it
is
further.
right up
Yeah.
on the screen, I believe, or it
Lovely.
was a moment ago. So we'll
Hey,
bring that back up
thank
as well.
you.
Yes, in fact, there it is right
There you
there.
go.
So, look, that's the best way to do it. But
Yeah.
always a pleasure, mate. And can we please bring you back?
Certainly. Anytime at all, gents.
It's easy.
Fancy. Sounds good.
Lovely.
Thank you, Anthony.
Right. Well, thanks for
There's
being
lots of
part.
more pillars to talk about.
So
Yeah.
true. It's a lot of pillars, my word. Okay, this has been Wealth by Design here on Edge Radio Australia.